This is the Cubs POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Chicago Cubs. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Locked On Cubs postcast here on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel. My name is Joe George, here with you on all social media platforms at Joe George Radio. The Cubs lose 4-1 to the Milwaukee Brewers. They still win the series, so that's good, but Kyle Tucker returns, does a lot of the same stuff he's been doing. And frankly, I just don't really quite understand what Craig Counsell's decision-making process was going into this game. I think it's strange, to say the least. We'll discuss all of that here on the show today. This episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Answer for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the USA. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. It does exclude the Masters tournament. Entry ends October 31st, 2025. All right. So sorry about the lighting here for those watching here on YouTube. Let's talk about what we saw today. Shota Imanaga was excellent, but it doesn't feel like that's the story of this game. It's why, Craig Counsell, why? Why do you make this decision today? So you win 3 straight games with Owen Casey and Matt Shaw playing. Neither of those guys in the lineup today. What's the reason for that? Let's see, comment here in the chat. Why kill the vibe? Absolutely. Why change them? Like you're rolling. You've won this series versus the Brewers. You've got a cakewalk of a schedule the rest of the year, which we'll get into on the show. But why make the decision to sit Matt Shaw and to bring Kyle Tucker back in the lineup today? I don't quite understand it. Kyle Tucker's going to play. You know he's going to play again this year. He's fine. He's healthy, apparently. The fracture is healed or whatever's going on with him. But he's not playing well. And you've won 3 straight games without him in the lineup. With Matt Shaw, who's also not in the lineup today, who Willie Castro had some fine moments. That's okay. He had to put hard contact and get caught out there late in the game. But the Cubs don't come through when they need it most. And Owen Casey and Matt Shaw doesn't, equal automatic W. But why do this? I don't understand this decision. Kyle Tucker has been terrible for 2 months. Great standing ovation from the fans. That was very nice. Probably not deserved, to be honest with you. I appreciate that they did it, so he doesn't hate the fans totally right now. But I can't wrap my mind around why you would make the decision. Honestly, Kyle Tucker to me makes sense playing him more in this game than not having Matt Shaw out there. Matt Shaw has been the best player on this team since the All-Star break. It's not been particularly close. So why is he not in the lineup? And again, why is Kyle Tucker out there? Why can't you just wait until you get to Anaheim to put Tucker back out there? I just don't – it just doesn't really make any sense. I really thought that we would not see Kyle Tucker in this game, and they would continue to let him just have the day off. I mean, even that liner that he had. Now, people are going to make – I was looking at social media and before this, and it's like, well, Kyle Tucker had an expected batting average of 800 on that line out that got caught that Michael Busch was thrown out at first. It was like 76 miles an hour off the bat. He's still not cranking the baseball like you'd want him to. He hit 1 ball out of the infield. And look, I don't think it's fair to expect Kyle Tucker, who's been slumping so mightily, to all of a sudden be put back into the lineup and start crushing it again. That is unrealistic. It is not going to be like wake up and Kyle Tucker's good. That's not realistic. It's going to be a slow, build probably back to him being to where he was before if that happens this season. Doubtful. Doesn't feel like it. But it's just a strange move to me today to do that. And especially on a day where, Shota Imanaga is excellent, gives up 2 runs early in this game, but holds it down for 7 innings. And you just don't support the guy at all. And that's why it's a general just kind of a vibe killer, honestly, for this game, because you've won 3 straight and all the problems that had been leading up into this game showed up again. Good pitching, not the best bullpen always at times. Like, it can't even, Brazier's, like Brendan says, Ryan Brazier is the reason we lost, not Tucker. The score is 4-1. Like the Cubs didn't score any runs in this game. Ryan Brazier, while, yes, I agree, was not great in this game. I'm not a huge fan of him, to be honest with you. It's the lineup that went back to their old ways immediately in this game. Bottom of the 2nd inning, Happ and Castro, both on base, 1st and 2nd, 2 outs. Dansby Swanson walks. Reese McGuire, he grounds out. Bottom of the 4th inning, Happ and Castro on base again in the 4th inning with 2 outs, and Swanson grounds out, and the inning is over. The bottom of the 5th, You've got Reese McGuire and Michael Bush on first and third with no outs. Tucker grounds out, so you got Bush at second. So you got runners on second and third. Seiya Suzuki walks. PCA sac fly. That's your Cubs run of the game. So again, you have opportunities in the second, fourth, and fifth, and then again in the eighth inning, and you don't take advantage of any of these opportunities. And honestly, the decision, I'll be honest, I think the Owen Casey for Dansby Swanson decision is crazy. Not that I'm pro Owen Casey. I think that's very clear. Like, I think he should be playing as often as possible. But to put him in that situation for Dansby Swanson, that's a big time moment. Why not Matt Shaw? The analytics are telling you that Owen Casey's the guy who should be pinch hitting in that moment for Dansby Swanson. I was shocked when we saw him come to the plate. I mean, that move is almost as stunning as the other ones in this game. So at the end of the day, it's the guys in the lineup who let this team down, and didn't score the opportunities that they had. So this is it's a vibe killer. That's the best way to say it. Now look, things should be easier. The Cubs have 34 games or whatever it is left in the season. The next time the Cubs, as of this moment, play a team above 500 is September 18th. The next team on their schedule right now above 500 is the Cincinnati Reds. The only team in the playoffs actively right now on your schedule the rest of the year is the New York Mets. Everyone else is below 500. The Braves, the Angels, the Rays, all these teams coming up, the Cardinals at the very end of the season. This is where, going into the All-Star break, and people talked about the Cubs' strength of schedule the second half of the season. This is really where it kicks in. That you don't play any really teams that are having success this year. Teams like the Braves and the Giants, who we thought were going to be good this year and have not been, that are below 500, are all right in front of you. So the Cubs have an opportunity to distance themselves from the wild card race. And if there's a small chance they can make a run at Milwaukee, it's because of the schedule that's in front of them. So while there's still a chance for lots of good things to happen ahead of them, I think after the first game of the series, I was very doom and gloom and felt like the season was over, but I didn't think the Cubs were going to win this series at the time. And they did. So that's positive again. But I don't get today. I think I'm not even super angry about it. I'm just kind of confused on what the decision-making process is for Craig Counsell to go out there and take guys out of the lineup who have been hitting the ball really well and put guys back in who have been struggling. And again, the Kyle Tucker, the rest thing to me is what are you resting for? For 3 games, for 2 days? That's rest? Like that doesn't seem to me like when you say you're going to rest a player and let them reset, I thought it was going to be longer than that decision. So it's a weird one. O'Reilly says, so are the Pirates, a team below 500. I mean, you won the series. I mean, look, I guess you don't like losing to teams, but the Cubs have won 2 straight series. You beat the Pirates. The Cubs are not going to win every single game. So I think I get your point of the Pirates are below 500 and the Cubs lost a game to them, but the rest of the year, the Cubs should be winning pretty much every series the rest of the season. That should be the expectation for this team, that because of who's in front of them, that the Cubs should constantly be winning these series. So yeah, I guess you lose 1 game and that's the end of the world, but you can't that's not how baseball works. You're not going to win out the rest of the year. I'm not trying to justify the way they've been playing. I don't want it to come off that way, but teams are below 500. All the Cubs can do is keep winning series and try to distance themselves again in the wild card at this point in the season. All right, we'll take our break here. When we get back, we'll talk more about Shota Imanaga, what we saw from him today. We'll go a little bit more into Ryan Brazier and what he's been doing as a Cub, because it's been a roller coaster and just really, I guess, wondering what's going to happen next for this team and maybe the decisions that we'll see Craig Counsell be making, plus your questions and comments as well. That's all coming up next here on the Locked on Cubs postcast on the Locked on Cubs YouTube channel. Today's show is brought to you by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives. If you've put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. Monarch does the heavy lifting. You can link all your accounts and minutes and see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Don't let the financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB. Today's show is also brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5 Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime flavored shots brings the iconic taste of golf course favorites to a non-alcoholic boost. Perfect for sinking birdies and making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to power through your day, 5 Hour Energy Transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape, ginger, lime flavor of 5 Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the bev cart. Now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf or two to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament and ends October 31st, 2025. All right, so Shota was really good in this game. Don't want to ignore that. I think in the grand scheme of things, when you look at this team, it's, what do you expect to see from them going forward? Probably more of the same here, honestly, for the Cubs. I don't expect to see this team, go out there and, turn it around immediately. I think that this team for the Cubs, what we should be expecting to do is, again, to go out there, win the series that are in front of you against all these teams that are below 500, and hope for what has been good to continue. And that is the starting pitching, Matt Shaw, let those guys go out there and perform the way they have. Pico Armstrong, I think, has shown, he doesn't have a home run since I think it's July 23rd. So it's pretty similar to Kyle Tucker, honestly, at this point. In terms of how long it's been since he's, had the ball leave the ballpark. I think PCA has shown some stuff at this point to where there's signs of encouragement. The series the other day, he got on base 8 times. A day like today, he has the sac fly. He, gets a big walk later in the game where he could have been chasing pitches and wasn't. But the biggest thing the Cubs need back at this point, I think this is a good point here from Cubs fan here on the YouTube chat, is that there's no power 2 through 5 right now. Even really 1 through 5, like Michael Busch has had a couple moments, but you're not really seeing any of the Cubs players 1 through 5 with power. Something that's really helped this team, this season, that's all gone. So that's the biggest thing as a team that you have to see come back to fruition. Again, they've won 2 straight series now, which is important. The Pirates beat you in that first game on August 15th. You won the next 2, and then the Brewers won their first game on the 18th. You won the next 3, and then, of course, lost today. But your next series here are against the Angels, the Giants, the Rockies, all on the road, this 9-game road trip. 7-2, I think, is a realistic ask, honestly, for the Cubs. See, Evan asked, why is Tucker in the lineup? He's going to be. I know Cubs fans don't want him out there, but just an honest reality check is Kyle Tucker's going to play. Whether they get it right or not, like he gets it right or not, Kyle Tucker's going to be part of this lineup pretty much the rest of the season. I would be shocked because of how short this rest period was. If it's anything different, honestly, I want to give the Cubs the benefit of the doubt here a little bit that we would see Owen Casey, more, but Seiya Suzuki is struggling too. So, could you play him? Could you play Casey in different spots in the lineup? Absolutely. But what I worry is that they're going to go back to what it was in the Pirates series, which is he's not going to play. I don't want to see that going forward. So we'll wait and see, honestly, what the Cubs do. But this is the stretch where the Cubs have a chance to really get back on track. I know a lot of people don't believe that's going to happen. I think that's a little in the moment. Like if yesterday ended the series, the conversation would be much different. But you got to put your best players out there. That, to me, is what I want to see the rest of the season. And that's why I'm annoyed with today's loss or today's game. Your best players aren't out there. And even though Kyle Tucker, yes, is going to play a majority of the time, you got to put the best guys out there on a consistent basis. And that's Carson Kelly as often as possible instead of Reese McGuire. That's Matt Shaw as often as possible, if not all the time, at third base. And give the other guys days off. Dansby can have a day off. Ian Happ, Suzuki, Tucker, those guys can all have days off. But like specifically Matt Shaw should not take off at any point again the rest of the season. You need these guys out there. And I know there's limited time left or days off left in the season, but like Matt Shaw's like 22. Like why you're not too worried about his health at this point. He's going to be fine. Just play him every day as often as possible. All right, that will do it for us. We'll be back with you guys. We will not have a post-game show tomorrow night. I'll be over on the Locked On Bears YouTube channel doing a Bears post-game show. So that will be on that one. So probably no show tomorrow night unless the games go at a good enough different pace. So we'll be back with you at least on Saturday. So thank you guys for watching. Hang out with us as always. Remember, hit that subscribe button. Matt and Sam will have their show coming up later today. Plus, wherever you can get your podcast, Apple and Spotify. Thank you to everyone listening on the audio version of these shows as well. So talk to you guys on Saturday. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.